Well, Abraham Lincoln isn't the name of the movie Lincoln, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Lincoln by Steven Spielberg just came out today, and I happen to be listening to NPR on my way here. Heard a little fun fact on All Things Considered, the Michigan version of All Things Considered, and they were talking about the relationship between Abraham Lincoln and the state of Michigan. Because there's apparently a quote from Abraham Lincoln that goes along the lines of, "We would be nowhere without Michigan," because there were a lot of volunteers from the Michigan militia and things like that fought in the war. And little did anybody know that the term Michigander actually was coined by Abraham Lincoln. Not only that, but it was actually a slur. When Abraham Lincoln was a senator, during Congress, he was speaking, and I can't think of the guy's name now, but he was the Democratic candidate at the time for presidency, and he was a Michigan senator. And during a congressional hearing, Abraham Lincoln wanted to call this guy a silly goose, but Abraham Lincoln was a clever man, so he came up with the word Michigander. So every time you call yourself a Michigander, you're calling yourself a silly goose. You silly gooses.
The more you know.
Yep. Cue the rainbow with a star. but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I heard that on the way here, and I was just like, Abraham Lincoln's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool dude.
And like he killed a bunch of vampires. And
that
is like historically accurate.
Like fact.
Yeah.
He killed
a ton of vampires, like with a sweet axe.
Yeah. I heard also that Daniel Day-Lewis is like a method actor, so that when he's on set, like he just like does not break character at all.
This is serious?
Like for real.
Well,
like, he's just perpetually in
which really sucks, because I guess they found that Abraham Lincoln actually had a really high annoying voice. And so if you watch the movie, like Abraham Lincoln's voice is pretty high and annoying. Yeah. So like imagine having to work with Daniel Day-Lewis like all like months that they're working on this movie, and he's just talking like this. I'm Abraham Lincoln. I'm Abe. So yeah, that would really suck.
Was there actual recordings of him?
No, but they when they were researching, when Spielberg and them were researching for the movie, they hired a couple of historians from the Smithsonian. They like archivists from the Smithsonian, and they found archive documents that stated that, like news press releases and things like that, that stated Abraham Lincoln actually had a high voice, and it was quite annoying to listen to.
So instead of like 407
years ago, it was actually like 407 years ago. Yeah, pretty much. So when you watch the movie Lincoln, do not be surprised that Abraham Lincoln has a high voice, because it's actually it's historically accurate to our knowledge.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Again, cue the rainbow star.
Rainbow stars. Rainbow stars all over the world.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the TechBuzzed podcast, your raw and slightly inebriated look into the world of technology. I'm Nick Smock.
I'm Ryan Spletzer.
And I am Lucas Ritter.
Another slow news week for you, but we do have some big news. We're going to lead that off right now. Ryan, why don't you talk about Sinofsky?
All right, so Steven Sinofsky, I just said Stevens.
Steven Sinofsky.
It's only like 7:45 and I can't talk.
Let's refer to him as
Steven.
Let's refer to him as
Steve the
SteveSin.
SteveSin.
SteveSin. It sounds like a porn name.
So SteveSin, head of Windows, kind of known for ruling Windows with an iron fist. At least over these past years. Was he involved with Windows 7 too? Bringing that up.
That's why people love him so much.
Yeah, I loved him for that.
Windows 7 versus
Vista.
Oh, Vista was
Vista.
a piece. So he, now that Windows 8 is out, and and that the Surface has been released, he has decided to leave Microsoft, which is a huge change up. But kind of makes sense. I mean, I get the feeling that he has had this kind of planned out for a while now. Kind of knew, like, once he had accomplished certain things, he was gonna go off and try something else. So I think he accomplished what he set out to do at Microsoft, and that was basically bring Windows back from the piece of crap software it was at Vista, and bring it to 7, and then bring it into the new age of tablet PCs with Windows 8. So
yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about this. Like,
it's
about what exactly?
About him leaving, like, because he was a dick.
He was
reportedly.
He was a dick.
But like, and he just kind of shut everyone out of Microsoft. Like, Microsoft wasn't really open anymore. They started holding things in a lot more. They turned into Apple, which I don't like because I don't like Apple. But I feel like he was a visionary, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I feel a little bit strange about this.
I was kind of thinking about this the other day. So, like, Scott Forstall left not too long ago either.
A week ago.
Not much more than a week ago. And by all accounts, it's been said that he was a jerk at Apple too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I think, like, you get all these kind of like senior executive VPs of these companies that are like one level below the CEO, and they kind of get to reign over their kingdom, so to speak.
Well, I think that's a big problem with Microsoft.
Well, no, that's Microsoft in general.
They're so fragmented in terms of Xbox division,
right?
Windows Phone, Windows, and then their like enterprise division. Like, they're so divided. Like, they're like essentially like your Windows division of Microsoft and your Xbox division of Microsoft. They're two completely separate companies,
right?
Essentially,
and that's the big complaint I think against Steven.
It's they're just crazy fragmented, and so it opens up that door for these guys who are the heads of these departments to sit there and just crave that power.
Right. It makes sense.
Like, I guess I have one big thing. I listen to Windows Weekly every week. I'm a big fan. Paul Thurrott, Mary Jo Foley, and this week they had a different guy in the lead. But anyway, as they were talking this week about how, like, with Sinofsky, his team was so dedicated to making everything like their own little thing, like with their division, like with the tablet software. Why wouldn't she use like? It's kind of slow. Like, Windows RT is a little bit slow. It's laggy. It's just not polished. It's not finished, which is kind of strange to hear coming out of Steven Sinofsky, because that was his like thing was he gets things done. Like, he was
look at Windows 7.
He was like,
we're
gonna get this out on time. It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna test the living crap out of it. And then Windows RT came out, especially Windows 8. I don't know. I love it. A lot of people really don't like. There's some people that hate it because I don't have a start menu.
Now here's my thing though, is I think all the people that hate Windows 8 haven't used Windows 8. Don't knock it till you try it. Really.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people like that.
I was in that boat too. I won't go back to Windows 7 on my laptop.
I can't go back to it. But anyway, back to my point. Like, what they were talking about on the podcast I was listening to earlier was just why didn't they use anything from the Windows Phone 8? Like you had a OS that was instead of trying to scale down the beast that is Windows, they tried to they scaled down the beast that is Windows instead of trying to build up what was Windows Phone 8, which was already built for these ARM devices, and just I feel it would have ran a lot better. And the big problem is if you're gonna say the big problem is apps, well, hell, there's no apps that work on ARM anyway. Like, I don't know. I have a big problem with this, and also buying a 32 gig tablet and then only having 16 gig because the OS takes up half that space.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like,
but that's just all of Windows legacy in there.
The biggest problem is they market it as a 32 gig tablet. Like, if you're gonna have a 32 gig tablet and the OS takes up 16 gigs, don't market it as a 32 gig tablet. Market it as a 16 gig tablet.
You know what? Funny enough, I was actually in the car with my mom the other day, and as we were driving, we were talking about like somehow we got on the topic of tablets, and my mom actually like was like, "Oh, I've seen those Surface commercials. They're really cool. Like I thought they were really awesome." My mom, here's the problem though. I was trying to explain to her the difference between the RT and the Pro. I said, "Mom, the Pros are coming out in January, and that's the one you really want." And she's like, "What's the difference?" I was like, trying to think of it in as like simple terms as I could. I was like, you will be able, all of the apps that you can just download and run now on Windows, you won't be able to do that on this current tablet. Right. Like it just won't work, like, because it's two different chipsets.
Yep.
And as soon as I say the word chipset, it's just it's like
that whole conversation.
What's going on?
Right, exactly. But I just was like, this one is based on a different, platform. As I was trying to put it in simple terms, like, so you won't be able to run your same apps like that you would everywhere else on Windows.
This actually gives me like a brilliant idea. Do you know Go to My PC?
Yeah.
Where I'm surprised we don't see something like that like for Windows RT, where that you would just have a server set up somewhere for this company.
Right.
And they just run all of your x86 apps and then
right. And it's just like mirrored or
it's
like
just mirrored onto a Windows
computer.
RT.
I'm sure that'll come up.
Like that would be a pretty good idea.
That then requires you to be online all time.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of a bandwidth user.
But basically, my mom, after that conversation, she's like, "Oh, maybe I'll look into that."
She was still trying to figure out what chipsets were.
Well, yeah, but like she's actually interested in getting one.
Cool.
Like the Pro one, and she's because she wants to be able to. She very much lives in the Windows world and kind of wants to be able to do certain things like more than an iPad could like offer her. Like emailing photos around a lot is something she does, but like getting my mom to figure out how to. It sounds weird, but like iPad, though simple, like is still different enough and strange enough to like work around.
It's still pretty foreign,
to like, because you have to bounce in and out of apps to like get photos over here and email them and just stuff, and like versus like she's used to just having stuff in one place. Like I have my photos in a folder. It's my pictures folder, and I will just right click select a group of pictures, right click them, and email them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she wants to be able to do.
Yeah.
So she's actually interested in looking at the Surface Pro. That'll come out later. But yeah.
Cool.
Anyways, to get back to Steven.
Yeah, back to Steven Sinofsky.
He I mean, but like he kind of like you said, he was kind of a perfectionist with Windows 7, and that's like
and that's the same with Scott Forstall.
Yeah. In different dimensions, I
guess. Design, buddy.
But like Windows 7 was everything I hoped Windows 7 could be when I got it.
I mean, it was polished XP.
Right.
And that's exactly what you want in any Windows operating system.
Right.
Is you want XP, but like modern. That's it.
Well, I see. I had a weird experience because I actually upgraded on my laptop. That I bought a Dell XPS at the time that had Vista on it, and I was like, but it was powerful enough that it was okay.
Right.
But like I didn't.
Right.
It was one of those things where I didn't realize how bad I had it until I upgraded to 7. Because things like clicking on my documents folder and waiting like 5 to 10 seconds for it to just open up. On Vista.
My thing was like I didn't have an XPS. I don't remember what kind of Dell I had, but it came with Vista, and then like 3 or 4 months later, Windows 7 beta came out. I did not stop using Windows 7. I was like, first day the beta came out, that is the last day I used Vista.
That's the thing too. Even when the beta came out,
it was still better than Vista.
And not only that, it was so rock solid. Like there was very few problems with that beta.
And it was always really funny too, because like I was like living in the dorms at the time. Yeah. And I was kind of like the like resident like geek in my dorm building, because it was really small. There was only like 70 some of us living in this dorm, and so I was like the resident geek in this whole building. And so like people would come to me with their computer problems, and then they're all like running Vista, and I'm just like, ew.
Yeah. The sad thing was, like last year I saw someone still using Vista on a laptop.
Oh man, people do it all the time, and it's like sickening. Like it makes me want to puke. I would go to XP before I went to 7.
Like I look at it, I'm just like, hey, here, please let me buy you Windows 7.
Yeah,
please
it's
stop.
like what, $30?
It's for students. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cheap. And I mean, if you're in if you're
CST
if you're an engineering student, you can get it for free.
Yep.
So you have zero excuse.
Yep. That's actually the one thing I love about being an engineering student is I get Autodesk for free.
Yeah,
there you go.
I was.
But anyway,
I still have my Autodesk student account, and so I have like CAD and a couple other programs. That's the coolest thing too, is like Autodesk owns so many software companies that like you can get Maya for like 75% off, and it's like a $500 program.
like Autodesk is worse than Microsoft. They just go out there like
Autodesk is the worst about purchasing companies.
Let's just
like,
buy some companies today.
They're just like, hey, Maya, the professional like 3D rendering software. We're buying you. Oh, excuse me. We're buying you. Who cares? Like they just buy every single bit of like drafting company. They just scoop them all up. And the great thing is it's never like an acquisition purpose. It's not like what Facebook normally does. It's like we're buying you and then we're remarketing you.
Yep.
Really? And so what they do is like with Maya, and there's a couple other, they've bought just tons of companies. Like you would actually be surprised if you went to Autodesk's site and looked at their software list or their product list. Like you would be surprised at some of the software that's created by Autodesk or like owned by Autodesk. They buy the whole company and then they just rebrand it, and that's it.
Like their company, how did we get on anyway? But they surprised me because like they get competition in the market and they're just like,
we're just sucking it up.
I'm gonna buy you.
Yeah, and
they just buy them.
But then they keep the company.
They do
as a whole.
Yeah,
they keep it. They're just like, we're buying you because we don't want competition.
Right.
They don't pull an HP and kick out all the engineers.
Right, and they keep the company completely intact, name and everything. Only it's now, instead of just like Maya, it's Autodesk Maya.
Yep.
Real quick, we'll get right back on topic, but there's somebody that I work with at work that came from HP, like in that whole like insane era in the past 2 years, and just some of the stories.
The Nom-esque stories.
Yeah. Anyways,
I lost my leg in the HP in the HP debacle of 09. All right. Well, since we're on the topic of Sinofsky or SteveSin leaving, we're gonna talk about JuLar, aka Julie Larson-Green.
Yeah.
JLG.
So JLG
popping in.
JLG popping in, taking 2 levels up from her previous position. She was, I think,
head of office.
She was head of office, but I think just previous to this was in the Windows side doing things. Yeah. But she had been in the office team for a long time. I think from the Office XP to 03 to 07.
And she actually has a really important role in Windows UI.
Oh yeah. That was her current job before she got bumped up to head of Windows. Was head of UI experience basically for Windows.
And
which is my dream job.
To talk about her right now, I am still in awe of having the File Explorer in Windows 8.
Oh, you just discovered that there's a ribbon?
No, I can't believe you just discovered
when
that.
When Nick told me about the ribbon menu in the File Explorer Windows 8, I was just like, what? No way, because I was just so used to Windows 7.
It came stock. It comes default.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
even know you could switch it to a smaller menu.
I have never. Well, that's the thing is, mine was automatically at the smaller.
Oh, really?
menu.
Mine was the other way around.
So I had never clicked on anything because
I see. It was never expanded.
Yeah, that's weird. Mine is the other way around.
I'm just so used to my old standard way of going through all the different folders and drives that I never looked at it. And now
we're going to talk about this in a little bit.
Well, we're talking about ribbons because earlier we were talking about how Julie Larson-Green really was the champion for getting the ribbon UI into Office.
Yep,
in 07,
which then became the native UI for Windows 8.
Windows 8 app. How do I describe it?
Microsoft apps in Windows 8.
Yeah, basically in desktop mode.
Yeah.
Which I think I might get into this right now.
See, I think we should talk more about Julie Larson-Green.
Yeah, we'll just talk more about
and then we'll
Julie.
get into that afterwards.
So she, coming from that, a little more backstory on her. She got her business administration degree from Western Washington. And
which is a random college to
kind of random, but then wound up going back to get her master's in computer science, which is I was commenting to these guys funny because that's exactly what I want to do because I got a business degree and I want to go back and get my master's in computer science at some point. So just kind of interesting seeing that. But so taught herself to program, just because I don't think she ever really. I don't know, but I think from what I gathered on the internet, like she never really experimented with programming too much in her college years. But just once she graduated, just all of a sudden decided, hey, I'm gonna teach myself to program. And,
Yeah, like,
and she just did it and got a job with ITIS and started doing some things there, and then joined Microsoft in 1993.
yeah.
So she's been there
around there for a long time.
That's almost 20 years.
Yeah, and like for tech
Yeah.
companies, that's really kind of like at tech companies. You don't like most people don't stay there that long. Like they always
Right.
move around so much, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a startup. Okay, and it just I don't know. I always hear about guys moving around. You're just like, wait, I thought you were gonna stay at
they
the
don't
company
like
forever.
people don't seem to ever stay
Yeah,
in one place for very long. So yeah, she's been there since 1993 and has been through a lot of different things, and now she's the head of Windows.
yeah, and that's like, I'm really surprised, and I'm really happy for her because this is a great thing, and supposedly, okay, I'm gonna lay down my Julie Larson-Green thing here, but half of me is excited because we've got this lady who hopefully will bring all of actual Microsoft programs together instead of this bullshit saying, hey, we're gonna market with Xbox,
Like
and,
the fiefdoms that they have right now.
like what we were talking about it earlier before the show actually started about how Microsoft.
No,
right
we
now,
talked about it during the show.
Oh, we actually talked about
Yeah.
it during the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm crazy, but Microsoft right now they have like all their little divisions, and none of them they don't really work together all that great.
This is actually the reason Kin died.
Yeah. It's because it wasn't it Sinofsky that was pissed off about
Yes.
Kinnan because that was
Yes, it
It's-
was entire. It was actually like Sinofsky like headed up the whole death of Kin, which I want to bring this up because this is actually about Sinofsky. This is actually kind of interesting. When Sinofsky left, Steve Ballmer basically like denounced him. When he was talking about leaving, like Ballmer was like, "Good, leave."
Oh, really?
Yes, and Bill Gates backed him up, and you don't hear a whole lot about Bill Gates in Microsoft.
Bill Gates
No.
backed Steve
Ballmer
Ballmer
up.
up.
Yes, you don't. Bill Gates kind of like he's still the head of the board of directors, is he not?
Oh yeah, he's still definitely
he's still like
present
he's
there.
still the head of the board of directors, but he doesn't. He's kind of just like a figurehead, but. When this happened and Steve Ballmer, being the chatty Cathy that he is, like said, good, leave, like we're fine with that.
yeah.
Bill Gates went and said, hey, I agree. And I think that's like something to say about how big of a dick Steven Sinofsky
Yeah.
was at
Yeah.
Microsoft. Like if you have a guy who is like pretty much washed his hands of Microsoft in a sense that he's just sitting there as a figurehead because he is Microsoft,
Yeah.
coming out and saying, yeah, you probably should get out of here.
Yeah.
And actually, I was trying to talk about my love-hate relationship with Julie Larson-Green, but now you remind me of Steve Ballmer and how he was really, like, now that I'm looking back at some of the things that happened in the last little while, you're starting to, like, see, wow, this kind of was a long way coming, because remember how Steve Ballmer kind of, like, just took the lead on so many, like, at Build, Steve Ballmer was the main guy on stage there.
Mhm.
Developers.
Yeah.
Developers.
Like, not even that, but like he came on stage and he was like showing off his own phone with his own everything, and like he's really starting to like own this company.
I love Steve Ballmer.
Like-
I absolutely love him, and that is not like the Windows fanboy me saying that I love him.
Oh,
he
God.
is just he brings something different to the table
Yeah.
that no other tech company can do.
Like I'm really enjoying how he is like actually. I don't know if it's him acting or what, but he legitimately
that
seems
is Steve
excited
Ballmer.
about
That is Steve
what
Ballmer.
Windows is doing right now.
And you know what? And you know what's? And the reason I say this is because he brings something different. Because Apple is so predictable. Apple keynote is exactly the same. It's just a different device, and they call it fantastic and beautiful. And they use the
Adjectives.
same 5 adjectives. And it's actually like true. Like people have supercuts of Apple keynotes where they say the same 5 adjectives for like 20 minutes because it's like from the first iPod to like iPhone 5. Like they've been just saying the same thing.
Right.
But a Steve Ballmer keynote, you are reaching your hand in a bag of you don't know what.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to get. And that's what I love about him, because he's running the company well, and Microsoft is doing great right now. It may not, but it may not seem like it at the moment, but Windows Phone 8 is about to have a huge surge in sales.
I hope to God they do.
And the same with Windows 8. And Xbox is going to go nuts in sales in the next year.
I was playing around with Smart Glass. It is awesome.
Yes. Xbox is going to be crazy in sales in the next year, because the new 720 or whatever they're going to call it is going to come out pretty soon here.
Here's my thing about all that. I think we're still talking about all of these things. When we talk about Google and how well they're doing, we talk about Google and how well they're doing in general, like with their ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right.
But when we talk about Microsoft, it always comes down to these separate things.
Well, but that's the thing,
right? You know what I mean?
Because they're such a fragmented company.
They just the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you buy something from the Windows 8 App Store, it doesn't. It could be the same app as on the phone, but you have to buy it twice on the phone on Windows 8.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really bad.
And not only that, but if you want to play that game or whatever on your Xbox, that should be available there too. So all of that stuff kind of needs to be.
We are going to have a Halo 4 rant yet tonight.
I don't think we should talk about that. But they're actually they haven't gotten that ready yet. But there is going to be a point where you buy stuff in the Xbox Live Arcade and it is ported onto your Windows. Windows 8.
That's the thing, is they have fingers of each other going into it, because I get gamer score on my Windows phone, but
they're not ready, because that's another thing is there's a lot of Xbox Live Arcade games that are also mobile games. They're just not ready to do that.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. They've already said it's going. They already said it's going to happen. So say you own what's that game where you play your own music and you drive that ship around? It was like a Windows Phone staple.
It was on Zune too.
Yeah.
I cannot.
It was
think
like
of
sound something.
Shit.
But regardless, that game was on Zune. It was on Windows Phone 7. And it's also on Xbox Live Arcade, and it's a Windows game.
Okay.
So that game right there, they kind of talked about that in this article I was reading, and it was that is kind of what they're trying to do, is get them on every single platform, and then you're going to buy it on the Xbox Live Arcade, and when you pop onto your Windows 8 tablet or your Windows 8 computer, and you pop onto your Windows Phone 8 phone, it's going to be hey, you have this app, you just purchased this app, do you want to download it?
See, that's cool. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I want,
but they're not ready for that
right yet. I guess long term I want to see the Play Store of Microsoft,
Right.
It was AudioSurf, by the way.
AudioSurf, that's what
okay.
it is. Yeah.
Because that's kind of the future, where buy thing once and it's just everywhere.
And you have it, yeah.
They're working
That's
on
the beautiful
thing
about Google, yeah.
But then it's getting super interesting, because you're getting Microsoft to the point where they're kind of on par with Google in this terms of ecosystem,
But the only problem is Microsoft is such a fragmented corporation that they never will be like Google.
Not quite, but
Google is an enigma.
Well, yeah, they morph and mutate.
They're just
do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Well, it's because they're a web company. They're not
Right.
based Microsoft. They earn their money off of selling licenses. Google earns it off of all
Microsoft owns their money off of patent trolling.
Wow, not necessarily.
Microsoft owns their money, gets all their money off of just random stupid patents and copyrights that they own, and they just are hey, we own that.
Because they've invented everything with a PC.
They've invented everything with a PC, and they buy companies like a madman.
Yeah. Well,
they go to patent auctions, and they just what company went out of business? And they this was last year, a company went out of business, and they auctioned off all their patents, and Microsoft and
Novotel or
Microsoft and Google,
Novell, yeah.
Microsoft and Google bought 75% of their patents together.
Yeah. Right.
They went in on it together.
But the thing,
as a joint.
Yeah. Okay. And they bought 75% of their patents.
Huh.
But that's where Microsoft's money comes from.
Okay, you can we can call Microsoft patent troll because they
are.
But at the same time, they actually have fair licensing agreements. They will actually license their stuff, which some companies won't.
I'm not.
do
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not. I mean, I'm not. I'm not saying that they don't do that. I'm just saying that they buy patents and then they're just like, give us money, and that's where they make their money.
But yeah, in my I guess I'm not gonna call them a patent troll, because my view of a patent troll is more like companies like even Motorola right now, or Samsung, or
Motorola
Apple,
has
which
a
is
lot of
just like,
patents.
hey, friend, and I'm just like, wait, why the hell are you charging these, like,
Right.
Samsung during the Apple Samsung trial? They were just like, we've got these 3G design patents, and we think they're worth about $50 a phone. It's just like, what? No, no.
They're just trying to drop sales on the iPhone.
I mean,
They are.
the
It's true.
purest definition of a patent troll in its purest form is somebody who buys patents
There
just
was-
to
yeah.
just for the point of
The company that brought out
There was actually
a
of
iPhone
going
5
after
or
people.
whatever. Yeah.
there was actually a good feature on The Verge like yesterday about patent trolls.
oh really
Yeah,
Okay.
Neeli posted a really good feature. I think it was either yesterday or the day before about patent trolls, and they were really like the thing that intrigued me most. And it's like judging a book by its cover, but it had a really cool graphic at the beginning. So like of a patent troll, like it was really cool looking. So
That's cool.
Definitely check it out when you
All
get
right,
it
I'm
when
gonna
you get a
look at
minute. It's a pretty good article.
But anyway, back to Julie
Julie
Larson-Green.
Larson-Green.
I want to finish up with what I was saying.
you finish up with what you're saying, and then Ryan and I are gonna talk about design.
Okay, but
right.
with her, I'm really happy. I hope she brings everything together, because I would love to see, like we were just talking there, you buy an app in one place, you can use it across everything. I can buy Halo 4, install it.
That's not gonna happen.
It won't happen, but even if they made it exclusive to, like, Metro and, I mean, modern design, and, like, you could only use it on Windows 8 PCs, I don't care. Like, just please, Microsoft, use what you have and put everything together. Like, they have so much design talent. They're like IBM. They just, we're going to patent every living thing we do. They have so much there, and I wish they would use it. And then also the thing that scares me with her is Sinofsky brought her in, and I'm not sure if she's going to be like his style, where she's very competitive and she might split, but I don't know.
Well, she has said in interviews and stuff that she wants to promote a workplace and a work style that's more kind of open and like collaborative and like everybody working together.
I can't find that.
And not just like one dude like ruling with an iron fist over everything. Like,
and this is why I'm excited, because I think that Microsoft is one of those companies where they get so much talent. Like,
oh yeah,
they can just walk into a recruitment center at like major college and be like, "Hey, we're Microsoft. You want to get hired?" And they just pick up talent.
I can't find that feature.
I didn't see it either, but anyway.
I don't know where I found that.
But yeah,
but it was definitely Neeli Patel that wrote it.
I'm excited, and I'm excited more than I am worried right now, because I think this is going to be good for Microsoft. It hurts right now because I really hope they don't make any crazy changes to like their Windows strategy.
It hurts so good.
Yeah, it hurts so good. But yeah,
Ryan,
let's
talk UI. Let's talk ribbon,
let's
because I think.
Oh yeah.
I think we agree. Okay, we disagree on the broader spectrum, but we agree on one minute detail.
I'm just gonna play with the word 2013 preview now.
Okay, we'll preface this by saying we got into a ribbon discussion because Julie Larson-Green
invented the ribbon.
Basically invented the ribbon. Was the person that like pitched the ribbon to Bill Gates and said, who Bill Gates invented the original like drop down menus in Office and was like, hey, here's why we need to ditch your drop down menus and use a ribbon. Now, I am of the opinion that the ribbon is not a bad thing. I think it's actually a good design step forward in terms of
so we agree
in terms of functionality, but
we agree on it then.
Yes, but
because I love the ribbon, but
here's my trip up with it. If you go and you look at other applications that that like Google makes, and I'm just gonna say that Google makes, like Gmail, for example, everything is a little bit more matte, a little bit like flatter, a little bit more minimalistic and monotone, and I just personally like that design style better. And when you're talking
icon design.
I'm talking about in terms of like the icons they actually use on the ribbon. Those are kind of abhorrent to me. Like, I kind of hate them.
No. Like, I completely agree, and I still hate all Windows icons. I absolutely hate them.
Like, I wish I could just go and write my own icons and put them in there for every program, because they're kind of like these cartoony, like things with all these different colors in them, and it's like, why don't you
Yes.
just kind of pick a color scheme, at least on a program basis? Like, we're in Word. Here's the color scheme for Word. These are what the icons are going to look like in Word. And follow it. Like, because I think in terms of like a website design sensibility, like I pick like my color scheme that I want.
Your color scheme should be no more than 4 colors.
Exactly. And with these icons and the ribbon, they're just all over the place. They're just crazy. Like, they have all these insane different
You know what would be
colors
great?
and 3D shapes and stuff.
I wish Julie Larson-Green was listening right now, because you need to seriously consider this. Okay, so you know how you have your arrow color, like Windows arrow, like the title and your start menu and things like that, like the bar, they're all one color.
Yeah.
They need to say I change, because it's red right now. Mine changes with my background, but right now it's red. Like, my windows are red, like the bar here is red, and the bar at the bottom is red. It would be awesome if they could just like have an icon scheme and then have it adjust to your arrow color.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
And it wouldn't be hard.
No.
I know it wouldn't.
It's a matter of diving into
But,
some
like,
preferences on your machine somewhere and pulling that color up.
The folders are ugly. The icon for the desktop is
the folders.
ugly. The library icons, like these icons right here, they are the most. They don't even make sense.
Yeah.
And like the library
Like the
icons,
documents
it's
library
like a little glass
pictures.
plate with like a document on it, and a little glass plate with a music icon on it. It doesn't even make sense.
And they're like, they try to make them look like 3D and stuff.
And it's
like,
don't do that.
I just wish somebody, and that to be clear here, we're talking about desktop mode. When you're going through things in desktop mode, not the same with Metro.
You know what though I hate about Metro is the fact that if you bring in non-Metro apps, they do this.
They do what?
This, and it's so ugly.
the
They just expand like the icon.
It's really bad.
And so you know what I've been doing is I found this utility on XDA developers that it allows you to change the icon. So I
see.
Yeah.
So the icon, you're saying the icon doesn't fill the entirety of the tile.
All they use is like the default icon in desktop mode. So Luke, this is what I've been doing. There's a utility to change them, so I've been creating icons in Photoshop.
That actually
looks
pretty
really
awesome.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
That's all I've been doing, because it's like I found the utility that changes your icon for you for the Metro screen, and then I just like went into Photoshop and I'm just like creating all these icons in Photoshop and Illustrator, and then like using them in place, because it's ugly.
Right. The Chrome one looks pretty cool. I actually like.
Yeah, I really like the Chrome. Actually, I stole the Chrome one.
Yeah, because just looking at I stole.
They
look
Chrome
like
one.
crap.
I stole the Chrome one, but the other ones are my own.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Lucas, you just posted a picture to Twitter.
I just posted a picture of Office.
This is Office 2013.
What did I do?
2013. Yes.
Now let me say something about 2013. The icons, though they are still multicolored and stuff, are much flatter.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't. You posted it on Twitter?
Yeah, they very much follow like Microsoft's kind of new design strategy.
I haven't seen it yet.
This looks really attractive to me.
Like I'd just get Office just to try it out. Like, it's free. You can get the 2013 preview right now. And,
okay.
This looks a lot better.
It's a lot better.
Now here is the question: why the isn't this? Bleep that. Why the isn't this in the file menu?
Oh no, that's a great question.
Where is that?
No, that's a great question. And not only that, Internet Explorer
that's
icon.
Again, mark this.
Oh.
Where is this bullshit?
No, that's a great question, because like with the Internet Explorer icon, like IE10 on the desktop,
it's the IE9 icon.
It's not flat.
No, it's the IE9 icon.
It's not. It doesn't have that same matte design. And you're right.
Where is that in the file
structure? It should be
structure?
like a flat folder.
Everything should be.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do this in Office and it looks great, like it looks great, do it everywhere.
Again,
you have the ability to do this. You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Again,
do it.
We're hitting on this thing where Office is a different segment and it's a whole different team.
This is this is prime example. You know what I mean? I'm gonna retweet that as TechBuzzed, that picture, because this is prime example of fragmentation within the Microsoft Corporation.
I'm gonna send you guys the picture of like the desktop icon for Office versus the desktop
Tweet it.
icon.
Tweet
I'm
it.
going to. Just,
and I'll retweet it.
It's great. I've got to dick around with it here, but yeah, just.
Yeah, we're really diving deep here. This is awesome.
All right, let's.
No, this is cool though.
I'm glad
we got deep into that. Like, so basically, I'll say this. I didn't like the icons before, but it's so reassuring to see Office 2013 now, and that it's got a new design sensibility.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, let's get moving on.
Let's jump on. We are going to talk about a great new phone that anybody on Verizon should definitely check out.
All right. Yeah.
We are going to talk. I think I'm going to take this one if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, take it.
Go for it.
Take it.
We're going to talk about. We talked about this last week, maybe the week before as well. HTC had been talking about a new phone. This phone.
Yeah.
We talked about the HTC J Butterfly 2 weeks ago, which is a phone out in Japan. They essentially just made that phone for the U.S. markets, and it's the Droid DNA. And I'm going to get you guys the specs here in a minute. But it's made by HTC. It's a Verizon exclusive, hence the Droid insignia or Droid. How do I want to say this? Like Droid branding on it, because that is the. God, I can't even talk right now. That's the Verizon exclusive is like the Droid branding. So they actually also just released an international version today, or talked about it. But Android Police has a pretty good article about it called "This is the Droid. This could be the Droid you're looking for." And the display, Android Police doesn't say it's the jaw dropper you're looking for, or you were expecting, but this display is crazy good, because at the current time, everyone is saying that the Droid 1X has the best display of any phones. Oh, I should say the Verge.
It's just the 1X.
Yeah, the 1X, the HTC 1X.
1X?
Yes,
okay.
has the best display.
Yeah.
And the Verge has a great David Price, right?
Pierce.
David Pierce.
David Price from The Price is Right.
Yeah, no. David Pierce does a video review, and they actually show a real close up between the 1X and the Droid DNA, and it's like night and day comparison.
Yeah.
This display is crazy good.
From what I saw in the video, I mean, you can only get so much from a video,
Right.
but
I mean, it's night and day.
Really nice.
Yeah. It's like Retina quality.
Right.
And
It's better than Retina quality.
well, we're not getting into PPI because PPI is a joke.
Well, I mean,
But-
PPI after a certain point is just nonsensical.
But it is a 1080. It has 1080p resolution.
Right.
So, the performance is nuts. It has a quad-core S4 Pro, which is probably like
it's the fastest in the market.
the
right
fastest
now.
chip on the market. Plus, it has 2 gigs of RAM.
Well,
so we're talking about
it should be.
computers manufactured in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I could get really geeky right now and talk about how ARM has an issue because they don't have 64-bit processing right now, but I'm not going
we're not.
to.
Yeah, we're not.
But
gonna talk about
doesn't that mean they just can't go over?
They can't go over 2 gigs. Well, I think
2
it's
gigs?
like it's in Windows. 3 gig is like the most you can use in 32-bit. You can use up to 4 gig, but
it's useless.
it's
won't,
really pointless.
You won't be able to use it all anyways.
But yeah,
I
that's why even
every
like
day
with
at work with my 32-bit terrible
Yeah.
computer.
that's
Yeah.
why you see like even in Android tablets you haven't seen any more than 2 gig. Where there's Windows tablets that have just 8 gigs right now. It's just like why the hell? But it's x86. But
Now,
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's 2 things that I have of beef about this phone. Okay. Number one is Verizon and HTC are marketing it, its design as based off of a supercar or like a race car.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't really get that. And
It's got
like,
those little vents
Verizon
inside, man.
and like Verizon, seriously, I understand that your color scheme is black and red, but black and red phones are ugly now. Like it looks like the Droid Incredible, and the Droid Incredible wasn't that good of a phone.
Yeah.
Hey, I loved my Droid Incredible.
But you know
You
what?
were the rare.
That is like
person
like
there.
what, a 3-year-old
Well, I had
phone?
the first gen. I had the first
Yeah,
gen Droid
that's like a
Incredible, which was
3-year-old
good
phone.
phone. It had a great screen for the time.
But it's a 3-year-old phone,
Yes,
is it not?
it is.
Okay, my point is we shouldn't have the same design as a 3-year-old phone, and that's essentially what we're looking at right now.
See, this is a funny thing
This
because
is why
you
don't
had
own an
the
iPhone.
Droid Incredible, but
Yeah.
I had a friend that had that exact same phone, same gen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hated it.
Really? I love that phone.
It's so bricky and gross. But
okay.
I don't care. I don't. We're not talking about the Droid Incredible. We're talking about the DNA.
Droid Incredible.
I think one of the coolest things about this phone.
The Droid not so incredible.
Ooh.
That was terrible.
The Droid unincredible.
I think the coolest, incredible.
The coolest thing about this phone is they have a backside notification light, and it's completely hidden unless the light is blinking.
Ooh, I have a light on the back of my phone.
Okay, you can check out this picture here. Yeah. But like, so you see it's like hidden, and then the notification light's on the back there. Because I actually use an app called Tasker on my phone.
Yeah.
And when I set my phone on face down, it instantly puts it into silent or vibrate mode, whichever I prefer.
And it knows this because of the accelerometer.
Not because of the accelerometer, but because of the sensor on the front.
Oh, the camera?
Yeah, like the sensor on the camera.
Yeah. There's no light.
Sensor. Right.
Yeah.
And so when you set it face down, Tasker recognizes that and it'll put it into silent mode or vibrate mode. I switch between the two.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have a text message or not.
Right.
So now this little icon or this little light is on the back. And it's an LED, a programmable LED, so you can change the color on it.
See, now that's one of the more.
I think it's interesting.
I think that's one of the more innovative. Like, this is the kind of innovation that I miss on phones. Like, people actually think of like nice things that help functionality that like are useful, like glanceable information like this, where it's like
no
matter which side you put your phone down on, you can see if you've got a message or not.
Which I really like about it. I think it's something
really
interesting.
Handy.
Now there's two other things that I kind of have beef on, but one of which I'm going to go into, and it's more carrier based, but we're going to start with the other one. It has a 2020 milliamp battery, which is really funky.
That's pretty piss poor.
That's funky for a 1080p display and an LTE phone.
I have to say, let me compare that to this 2100 milliamp battery that is an extended battery for my Galaxy Nexus, and before this I had a 1800 milliamp, and it's still like, I mean, it'll last longer now, but it's still not. And this is the key point here. This is 720p screen. That thing is a 1080p screen, and you're talking about a battery that is less than what I have right now. That's crazy. Like,
now I was reading this article though, and David Reddick of Android Police said he got a whole day's worth of use out of it, and he actually listed like what he's doing. So I'm gonna run down his day of use with it.
Yeah.
He uses Amazon with push shipping notifications, Dropbox with at least 5 to 10 small files uploaded per day, if not more, Facebook rarely used but set to sync, Google, he has 2 email accounts for a combined 75 to 150 emails received every 24 hours, 2 calendars, probably not doing much, Google Plus, Chrome Sync, Google Now Sync, and Google Talk running, Google Voice, 20 to 50 messages combined sent and received per day, Twitter checked obsessively. And he's got his screen set to auto brightness, Wi-Fi off, Bluetooth off, GPS on, mobile data on at all times.
Wait, back up. He said Wi-Fi off?
Wi-Fi off, Bluetooth off, GPS on, mobile data on at all times, and sync on at all times. And
real quick, does Wi-Fi use more power?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're not on a network, your Wi-Fi chip is, or Wi-Fi radio is constantly searching for a Wi-Fi network.
It's more. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. If you're not on a net, but if you are on a Wi-Fi network, it's still going to use more because you have both your mobile data radio and your Wi-Fi radio on. Got it. All right.
But he got a day and 3 hours out of his battery.
Wow.
So, I mean, it must have some really good screen tech to support that small of a battery.
Or HTC just finally.
And now here's my beef though. You cannot remove the battery.
Yeah.
That is painful.
That's funky.
And the sad thing is, they don't even have the excuse that it's a unibody like the One X. It is not a unibody phone. Like,
right.
Thanks, Verizon. But anyway.
Now, my other beef, are we done with the battery? Anyone else want to say something
No,
about the
I
battery?
do want to talk about the battery a little bit.
Go ahead.
Like, there's a lot of tech going on behind the scenes with this battery, which is why I think they got the life out of it. But I don't understand. Like, it's a really thin phone right now, and I guess I can see that as a selling point. But
well, really,
I'm gonna read that link.
I'd be happy if they'd have like,
because this is pretty interesting. It's a really interesting article. If you're
I'll say real quick, like battery, you can. I mean, you can do some creative things. To get more
You can
battery
really
life.
optimize your battery.
Right. And maybe HTC actually went through the trouble of looking at some of that stuff this time.
I mean,
you know?
if he got 27 hours on his battery,
especially like with a
of
1080
regular use,
with a 1080p compared to like a 720p screen, that's so many more pixels to push. Like you don't think about it, but that's a lot more.
Yeah.
To push, and that eats away your battery.
Yeah. I mean, generally in an Android phone, your display is your number one user of your battery.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
It's your number one at all times. Now, my other beef, I'm actually going to save for after hours because I'm going to swear a lot. A lot. So it has to do with carriers and phone companies working against their customers. That's all I have to say.
I'm sure I can jump in on some of that.
And no, but it's one specific thing, and it has to do with micro SD card support. And I am going to rage like a mofo.
I'm going to continue talking about this phone though right now because
okay, go ahead. Because we only have one more topic.
I'm really happy this phone's being pushed out. I'm kind of sad how it's basically Verizon pushing the phone. Like it's them being like, hey,
HTC's got a lot on their plate right now.
Yeah, they do, but it's.
But it's a good thing.
Yes and no. I don't know. I don't like how Verizon's still controlling the market really by saying, "Hey, make this Droid phone for us and make it black and red and put these little grills on the side so it looks like a car." Like
you know what? No. You know what really sucks too is because everyone knows this phone is based off the HTC J Butterfly.
Yeah.
And that phone is gorgeous. Like
yeah.
The design on that phone is amazing, and it's like the phone. It's the same phone, but Verizon is like, no. Mm-hmm.
Like I will say that you want Verizon.
You want this phone to look good? This is Verizon. Are you kidding me?
This is
it still is a good-looking phone, though. I think.
I mean,
I still think it's a decent phone.
But it's stale. It's such a stale design. Yes, Verizon, we know your colors are red. That's why everyone who hates you calls you Big Red, because that's all you do is make red shit.
I think it's just sad that in the name of like Droid stuff, like they have to make phones like black and red.
It's so annoying.
Like, it really makes me wish that the
do you want to be blue and silver?
What? No, I want different colors.
I just want the manufacturer to make what they think is the right.
You know what I think
colors to make and make it for every carrier.
You know what I think? I love this. Look at this. This is a Verizon exclusive. It is gray and gray. I love that. I don't care. I don't want f***ing red on my phone. Mark it. I don't want red on my phone. I just want gray and gray, or like, black and black, or white and light gray, or cyan, but not red. Stop with the red.
Like
I want a scarlet red phone right now. Just a phone that is just straight red, like
a Ferrari phone.
Yes,
like the Ferrari Nokia,
like the Lumia.
Or the 8X.
The red, yeah. Oh, I want that phone right now.
Regardless,
I'm sorry.
We're moving on.
Real quick, I'm of the opinion that whoever's responsible for this terrible Droid stuff going on at Verizon should just be fired.
But that's the thing.
Sent to the mailroom for like 2 years to work there.
Everyone at Verizon is like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's just like the Samsung Galaxy S or the Galaxy Note 2, where they're like, oh yeah, home button. Let's just slap a big old Verizon logo on it. That's a great idea. The customers are gonna love that. Hey, I forgot what carrier I'm on. Maybe if I look at my home button, it'll tell me. Oh, I'm from Verizon. Those people still have their... Never mind.
I have one thing to say about this, though, real quick, is with the Droid branding is... What's amazing is how when someone thinks of Android, they just say Droid now.
Oh, yeah. No,
I hate that. See, that's the worst. That's the worst thing about the Droid branding.
It is a complete and utter win from the view of, like, Verizon marketing.
When someone is like... When I'm like sitting there playing on my phone, when I'm sitting there playing on my phone and they're like, "Oh, you use a Droid," and I'm like, "No," and then I get them confused when I say no, I don't use a Droid, and they're just like, "Yeah, you do. You got Droid on there," and I'm like, I was like, you are 5 seconds away from me taking your iPhone and dropping it 3 feet and watching the Gorilla Glass just shatter on it.
It's not Gorilla Glass.
Well, the faux
That's
Gorilla
their problem.
Glass.
The new one, I think.
The new one has Gorilla Glass.
It does now, finally.
Yeah.
I just want to stomp on people's iPhones and go, "Oh, is that an Apple?
Does that have the apps?
Has that got the apps?"
Okay, we are completely.
No. I want to say real quick.
Ryan,
I completely agree with that. Like, because anybody that tells me that I have a Droid phone, I like purposely stop them. I say, No. First of all, I say no, I do not. I have a Galaxy Nexus running Android 4.1.
I love
Go
it.
Halfway through that, they just completely wait a minute.
Like, seriously, if you were listening to this right now and you still call Android-powered devices droids, go punch yourself in the nose and break it. Make sure it's broken. Punch yourself repeatedly until it's broken, and then maybe you'll learn that every phone that runs Android is not a droid, but all droids run Android. All
droids are not created equal either.
Get it through your head, people. If you keep calling my phone a droid, then I'll keep calling your phone an Apple.
Can we talk about the droid charge?
No, because that phone is junk. I don't even want to talk about it. We're going to talk about our next topic. So, The Verge, especially Nilay Patel, has been on this kind of like inquisition of getting rid of cable networks.
Kind of.
And
well,
so,
I mean, basically
giving you alternatives to giving
kind of
people
related
a
to,
safe haven to cutting the cord.
Do you remember, like, I think it was last year, Giz's whole week where they,
yes.
like Gizmodo's week where they were just like, cable is broken,
yes,
and they had the hashtag. This is very similar to that, I feel.
Like, Nilay Patel is right now on an inquisition to give people a cord-cutting safe haven, and teaching people that you don't need cable.
But at the same time, like, they're reviewing each kind of ecosystem.
Yes.
And what they're kind of finding conclusively with each one is each one has like gaping flaws and holes in it.
Right. But like, each one also has like benefits.
Each one has benefits, but like at the same time, I can't just pick like one device that takes care of everything for me. Like, which brings us to our point. Like, that's why everybody has a different TV setup.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we are about to talk about our individual media setups. I'm not going to say TV, but I'm going to say media setups.
Media, that's a better word.
That's like video, like just movies and television. Like,
we can even add in audio sets. Just
I guess. I mean, but
I play music through mine too.
Well, I do too. But I mean, we're more focused on how you get your television and how you get your movies.
Your visual fixations and entertainment.
Lucas, why don't you start this bad boy off?
Why do I have to start? Okay.
Because Ryan starts a lot. Because I'm always like this. Because the mic is right here, so I'm always looking at Ryan.
Just because Ryan's Lucas, you're the most interesting person in the group. All right.
Lucas, you're gonna start this off because I never start you.
Yay. Okay. My TV/video viewing pleasure setup is I have my TV.
What kind of pleasure are we talking about?
Oh, all kinds of pleasure. I have a fun time, but I've got my main PC plugged right into the VGA port on my TV, and it's actually running Windows 8 release preview, but I run that through there, and then like I can do anything on it is the beautiful thing. It's kind of a pain at times because like with the 1080p screen, you're kind of looking at it and text can be small when you're 8 feet away because it's in my bedroom, so I'm laying in bed and I'm just like, I can't read, and you have to hit Control+ a bunch of times, or a keyboard doesn't want to work, or the mouse is too. Anyway,
right.
I would love to have like support where I could just use like an Xbox controller, but anyway, I've got the computer hooked into there, and then it's hooked into my sound system, which I've just got a Yamaha 7.1 receiver, sub, and I think right now it's just set up with 5 speakers, but it has support for 7. And then I've also got my Xbox hooked up, which I use that every once in a while because I'll play around with Smart Glass, which is actually it's kind of fun to play with, but Microsoft IE on Xbox is kind of a gimmick.
Oh yeah.
Please enable Flash. Like, if they would just enable Flash, it would be like it would work. Yes.
Quick aside, because like the problem with that is like every live stream you ever want to watch is Flash.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that's my big problem because like. Are we going to talk about Sinofsky right now and how he hated Silverlight?
I'm glad he hated Silverlight.
You hate Silverlight too?
Silverlight needs to die.
It's probably not because Julie Larson's getting in charge, and I hear she kind of likes it.
No, I'm okay for
But anyway, back on my setup here. That's I use the Xbox I play games on there. I don't have Netflix or Hulu at the moment, so I still use the computer more because I watch a lot of live streams of like video games and just different YouTube crap. Actually, I don't watch YouTube that much, but anywho, most of my content is all streamed through like either live stream channels like Twitch, or I also do a lot of purchasing on Amazon, like, because I just hate dinking around with torrenting, and I feel bad when I torrent because I don't know what's wrong with me, but I feel bad when I torrent stuff because I don't pay for any cable. So, like, I feel like I'm not supporting the people that make the product if I don't at least buy it. So I end up getting, like, I have a season pass right now on Amazon for 2 shows, Sons of Anarchy and The Walking Dead. It's like $284 a week for each show, so I pay like a little bit less than $6 a week for my TV, and I could get Netflix and whatever, but I just haven't. I'm never home, but I really like my setup. I wish that more stuff was available in the 360 because it's easier to navigate with the controller.
You will get that.
Like,
it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen
because like Microsoft is pushing the hell out of the
Yeah.
360 in terms of a set top box.
And what I'm really hoping is that, number one, I think they're going to bring a lot of the features that they're going to come out with in the 720
Yeah.
on the Xbox.
I really hope they don't
But-
call it that.
I'm just going to call it the 720 for now. But on the thing is, I will probably end up still buying an Xbox 720 just because I'm a sucker for these goddamn products. I'm sorry.
720 just makes me think of Tony Hawk.
It's
doing
just
a
silly. It's
720
such a
on
silly
skateboard.
name.
But I'm going to want to buy Halo 5. I'm going to want to, like, hopefully they will have, like,
their media support is going to be crazy.
I
in
think the
next
media
system.
support's going to increase. I'm really actually disappointed that Windows Media Center, like, kind of they stopped using it. Like, you don't get
Ew.
it if you just buy Windows 8 Pro. Like, you have to download it separate. And I used it a little bit. Like, it worked really well because I had a digital TV tuner in the back of my computer until it stopped working.
Ooh, yeah.
And with Windows Media Center, it would show all the channels. It would show when everything was on, and it was actually kind of nice. Like, it was a little bit clunky, laggy, and whatnot, but I could just select to record things, and I just had hours on hours on hours on hours of free stuff just recorded on my computer through basic cable.
That was Bill Gates' dream.
Yeah, it was, and it was actually pretty dang nice. Like, but I understand why they got rid of it, because you have companies like Sony that just are like, hey, we own the rights to how you pull things off this DVD, so pay us.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't put it in there. But at the same, anyway, back to my system. But yeah, I mainly use just my Xbox and my PC to get everything, because what else? You can get everything on a PC. Like, it's just not it's not the prettiest interface from a distance. So that's the big problem with that, and I wish more was on the Xbox. So
So I'm gonna hop in here. I have cable, and I also have DVR services available to me, but I'm not able to use those DVR services. So
real quick, I want to know, Lucas, did you have cable or no?
No, I don't. I just have over the air.
Over there.
Okay.
I have
Charter would want to charge me $40+ a month, and I was just like, no.
So you are a cord cutter.
Completely.
I have no. Here's the thing, though. Okay, because technically I am as well.
Yeah.
I have premium cable with HD channels and recording available to me, but I never am able to use it.
Yeah.
So I don't. So instead, because technically I do pay for these shows and I can record them at will.
Right.
I torrent a lot of my television because I don't have access to it otherwise. So I torrent a lot of my television. However, I pay for Netflix. I use a Boxy, which is my main content provider. Is my Boxy. I use my Boxy for Netflix. I use it for. I have a third-party app, which I'm not really going to get into because it's kind of complicated. But I use it, and it streams television shows directly to my TV through different services. Commercial free, and I get movies and things like that, but I'm not going to get into that because it's a little complicated how it works. And I pretty much just use my Boxy for everything. It's got all my music is streamed to it. I have a lot of a huge hard drive full of movies and television shows that I have cataloged, like a really, really, really cataloged. I have subtitles for every single movie and TV show that I own, and they're all cataloged in their own little file structures, and I'm really meticulous about that. But that's pretty much what I do. Is I use my Boxy for everything because I only watch TV like late at night.
Yeah.
So I usually miss the shows that I normally want to watch. So I have like RSS feeds set up via my torrent client that just auto download them when they're available online.
Cool.
Actually, I have one thing
Nice.
to add about mine is I'm also subscribed to like Microsoft's like Zune Music and Xbox Music, which
Like your services that you get media from.
I get all my music through that, like the free, like it's not free, but you pay. Me and my sister split it. It's like it's like $100 a year, and I just get to listen to whatever the hell I want.
That's good. That's good.
Like
Yeah.
it's really nice. I love that.
That is
'cause I
super
can
nice.
put
That's
it
what
up
I-
on the Xbox.
That's what I loved about
computer.
Spotify.
Yeah,
when I had Spotify.
It's like
But
Spotify, but more integrated into
I'm
Windows.
not gonna get into my Spotify rant until after hours because that's also included in what I'm gonna rant about. So Ryan,
Yeah.
get your TV set up,
This is nice because we're actually recording in my apartment. I can look at my TV setup.
and it is nice.
So
His is like really, really like clean and actually looks nice. Where mine is a cabled mess.
I'm a clean person. I enjoy clean
I
aesthetics.
wish I was a clean person.
So mine. If you ever come to my apartment, you can check out my aesthetically clean setup.
Ladies.
Hey.
So where to start? Obviously I have a television and an AV receiver, but so boom right there, and speakers and stuff. But as far as the ways that I get content, I do not have a cable package. So if I am actually watching television, it's with my antenna over the air.
I just remember trying to watch that goddamn
That one
football game.
Michigan or Michigan State game that one weekend. Yeah.
I
We had
never
to,
have
take
problems
the
with it,
antenna
but yeah.
outside, but hey, I'll do it because it's free.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So
Free HD.
I have an antenna to get ABC, CBS, Fox, and whatever the other one I'm missing over the air.
Yep.
And then like Nick, I have a boxy box, and I am in a deep romantic
now,
relationship.
I got a quick question for you. Do you plan on buying the next Boxy?
No.
I do.
Why?
PVR.
I don't need that.
That's true. You don't have cable.
I don't have cable to record.
I don't want
any
to
of
pay a
this
monthly
stuff.
fee. I would rather have local storage because I already have like
Well, no.
5 terabytes. lying
Boxy's
around my house.
PVR isn't a fee.
No, wait, PVR. Describe
personal
PVR.
video.
It's personal video recorder.
Oh,
it's like a
okay.
DVR, but
Is the storage local or is it?
I
up
thought
in
you
the
were talking
cloud?
because I thought that
you
with
can
the
you
new
can
Boxy,
you can set it up to be local.
Okay.
You have to have a hard
Alright,
drive or
alright.
a NAS drive connected to
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Well, because I don't have that much TV available to record, I have really no incentive to buy a new Boxy box. And also the new Boxy box, the other capability with the newer Boxy box model that's coming out is it has an integrated tuner in it for over the air.
Yeah, which is cool.
But I already have
already
an
have a tuner.
antenna, so I don't need that.
I just tossed this in the show notes right now. I'm gonna talk about something before we continue. When we do after hours, I kind of want to talk about something.
Oh, okay. Got
Okay.
it. So to continue on my Boxy, I will occasionally. So I'm just gonna get through the hardware real quick, and then I'll talk about the services. So in addition to that, I use my PS3 once in a while because on Boxy I might watch some stuff. But the one thing with PS3 is I can do Amazon Prime streaming.
Oh, I forgot about that. I also have Amazon Prime
I'm
streaming.
jealous of that because Xbox doesn't have that, and I have to watch it on the
Yeah.
goddamn PC.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that because
Your
I
ass.
also have Amazon Prime
because
streaming.
the Boxy box does not have Amazon Prime streaming, and it also does not have Hulu. If you have a Hulu Plus account, it doesn't have that.
You can actually. There's ways around that.
Okay.
But
Oh
they're
yeah,
not-
hacky ways around it.
There's ways around it, but they're like you said, wonky.
This
They're
is the
really
problem
wonky.
with TV right now.
I gotta
You need to hack
And-
around everything. But
And in
anyway,
terms
guys.
of sources of media, right in my media setup, like right next to it, sitting on the floor, not on the floor, but in the like cabinet next to it is a NAS drive,
Yeah.
Western Digital terabyte NAS drive that let's put it this way, a lot of video files that I have gotten from various places and I view on various occasions, and I would usually play those. The most easy method of playing those video files is through my Boxy, and that's what I use most of the time. Then I'll watch Netflix. I've kind of drifted to watching Netflix more on my PS3 because it's just a little bit, I think, a slightly better experience than watching Netflix on my Boxy, in terms of like speed of the UI and just like quality of the video stream, I think, sometimes. So I'll do that there. And then also Amazon Prime streaming on my PS3. But then there's also some more functionality with my Boxee that I use all the time. And it has all these integrated apps that you can use to watch all sorts of different video feeds and, Vimeo, Revision 3, all this different stuff. But you can also AirPlay to it. And I use my iPad to AirPlay YouTube videos to
Your
it.
iOS 5 iPad.
My iOS 5 iPad, which is great.
Wow.
Boxee's
Okay.
YouTube app is junk.
Exactly. Boxee's YouTube app is so compressed and has all this artifacting going on for no reason, and I hate it.
I'm subscribed to a few YouTube channels, and like trying to watch videos you're subscribed to is like torture.
It's awful. So I much would rather take out my iPad and hit the play button on there and just play it to there because it looks a million times better AirPlaying it from my iPad. So in conclusion, I'm a cord cutter. I don't have cable. I watch stuff over the air like The Office and stuff on Thursday nights, but I don't watch too much TV live. And then I have everything else that I get over the internet from Netflix or Amazon, or I watch stuff locally from my network drive that's attached to my router and play through my Boxee or PS3. So
okay,
there's that. That's my media setup.
After that, we're going to get into our email segment, which we got no emails, but Lucas has something quick that he'd like to say.
Yes, I have something that I'm going to put into our email segment.
Quick.
Because it is my Aunt Sharon. She is...
Your Aunt Sharon's great.
Yeah, she is an awesome lady. I really wish she would listen to this pod. Actually, I don't know if I would want that. But anyway.
But she's great.
She texted me about looking for a new phone, and I was just like, why? Because she's kind of like the sheepish style person. Like,
so she should get an iPhone.
Not in the not in the mean way, but like it's just your standard person that doesn't really... They just want their phone to work. They want the apps. They want to play around on Facebook, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, she texted me about looking for a new phone. She asked me what I use. And I was just like, I use the Samsung Galaxy S3, and I like it. Works out pretty well. But me being kind of just bored of my phone because I'm ADD in the head with that kind of thing. But I was just like, yeah, it's all right. And then she just started talking to me about, well, what do you like about it? What phones would you recommend and everything? And then I asked her, well, what network you on? She's on AT&T, and I was just like, well, they've got some decent phones right now. You could look at either like a Galaxy S3 or a 1X, or if you're really daring, you can look at like a Lumia, or not a Lumia, a HTC 8X. Even though Lumia 920 would still be a good choice, just 'cause it's $99. Like, anyway, I just had like a spaz on in the background here, but. Yeah, so I was telling her about that, and then she was just like, yeah, I really like my phone, but Apple's really pissing me off right now.
Oh, she said that.
They want to charge her $79 about the Maps and YouTube apps.
Wait. Why?
Because she upgraded to iOS 6.
Oh, and she wants those
Maps
apps
doesn't
back?
work, and she went to the Apple Store complain. I didn't get the full story
To
I'll
like
be
downgrade.
Honest. Like, she went to the Apple Store, must have been, and like complaining about how they're not working or something.
So she wants to downgrade.
I don't know what she wants to do, but she said they want to charge her $80 for
that
it.
would be my guess is that she wants them back, and so Apple says the only alternative is to downgrade, and they're going to charge her $80 to downgrade.
Okay, and let's say that's exactly what it is, but that's just insane. And she's just like
the reason I know this is because my old roommate actually had issues with his 3GS, and it was software side or firmware, and they were going to charge him $80 to downgrade. And I was like, give me your phone. I'll do it in 5 minutes.
Like, that's
for a
insane. Like, when she came to me and told me about this, I was just like, wait, are you serious right now? Like, $79 to add functionality back to your phone that you got taken away in an upgrade. Like, wow. And I had to hold back from like my rant about why I personally don't like Apple, which is for completely just strange reasons because I'm a strange person. But yeah, so I'm really this actually fits into our email segment really well because
that's really silly.
The iPhone 5, iPhone 4S, they're nice phones. Like, if you're just a standard person, and
if you're a sheep,
like my girlfriend got an iPhone 4S, and like she loves the dang thing. Like, I don't know. It's the battery life's pretty good. Decent screens, actually really good screens. Good camera. Like it just has the good of just about everything. It's just kind of boring. And we had our Apple and Android and whatever rants
we've talked
2
about
weeks
those
ago.
Previous
I will say for those certain folks, it's like that camera. It's all about that camera. Really, you know.
But the 920.
But nobody knows that.
No one knows it, and you have to be more of a pro to use the 920 as a camera. Unless you know what you're doing. But anyway.
Regardless, we're gonna hit it. We're gonna get you guys with a little break, little 8-bit Kanye West coming at y'all, and then we're gonna get back with our beer picks. And we're back. We're going to get with our beer picks of the week, but first I'd like to start off in saying that the Lion Stout has been retired to the Hall of Fame since it's won way too many weeks in a row because it's such a great beer.
It is.
But we're going to get things started. We were deciding on who won last place last week, but we really didn't come to a conclusion. Ryan and I both had
because Lucas's beer won by such a wide margin.
You know,
I just want
to punch you in the menstrual cycle right now.
We're not starting this again.
No, Ryan and I had really good beers, but Lucas's beer reigned supreme. So last week, do we have a bottle of that?
Oh,
last week's beer?
We actually don't.
Let's pause that. I have one in my car. Okay, I have the Leinenkugel Snowdrift Vanilla Porter, which was our previous beer of the week. And since the Lion Stout went to the Hall of Fame, we are going to pin it up against the Vanilla Porter this week.
Because Lion Stout was such a great choice.
It was.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start things out. I brought the Fat Tire by New Belgium, which is actually like their flagship beer, New Belgium's. The Flat Stout, the Flat Tire is great. It's an amber ale. I think it's really smooth, and it kind of has that, like, it defines what an amber ale is, in my opinion. I think the Fat Tire is the amber ale to end all amber ales.
Yeah, that's like really, really, really smooth. Like, I'm surprised. Like, normally I kind of have an issue with amber ales. Like, I have an issue with all beer, but it's surprisingly smooth for an amber. Like,
have you had this before?
No, I haven't. I've never had this one before. It's I'm surprised by that. I really like that. That's a pretty good beer.
I've had this one a lot before, and like I love it. Like, this is one of the my common beers that, like, if I'm going out to a party, I will grab a 6-pack of this. Yeah, it's one of my favorite amber ales by far. Just really smooth and really tasty.
I really like the finish to it.
Yeah, I think that's what like sets it apart. So that's the Fat Tire Amber Ale by New Belgium Brewing Company. Ryan, you have an international beer this week.
Yes, I have a German beer. It's the Weihenstephaner Hefeweissbier Dark.
So say a little something about it.
So it's
dark.
Like it says, it's like a Hefeweizen, but like a dark Hefeweizen, and it's pretty unique. It's actually, as you could understand, it's from Bavaria. It's a German beer. And I really like it.
It has a funky finish to it.
It's kind of crazy.
It's a very German beer.
It's a good beer, but yeah, it's definitely a German beer. It has a funky finish.
It's weird at the end. At the beginning, when it first hits your tongue, you're like, yeah.
This reminds me of when I was in Germany my sophomore year of high school, and well, I guess I don't remember any of that, but
because you were too drunk.
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
I'm sorry. All right,
but it was legal there.
Yeah, it was.
This claims to be from the world's oldest brewery.
Which is actually, what's the brewery?
It's called Brauerei.
That is
Weihenstephan.
That is true.
Oh, okay. So this is from the oldest brewery in the world.
Well,
yeah, I mean, whatever.
It's the oldest commercial brewery in the world.
I've got some things to say about this beer actually. Like
the oldest. Hold on one second. Okay. The oldest brewery in the world is actually Trappist Monks.
But it wasn't
wasn't commercial.
Right. It wasn't a brewery.
Yeah.
A couple of monks sitting around brewing some beers.
I mean, like the Egyptians brewed beer, but who gives a shit about the Egyptians, right? They didn't do anything cool. But no. I mean, like the oldest commercial brewery was. I don't even want to try to say it because I never spoke German in my life. But yes, Trappist monks though did commercialize beer before that, but it wasn't on the same level as.
Right.
So what I was gonna say about the beer is like it's got a little bit of a funky aftertaste, but I really like it.
I kind of
like the way it sounds off.
It's a little sour to me.
I like that though.
I like it 'cause it's kind of different.
I personally like that sour taste. It kind of hit me the right way.
Like maybe it's just tonight that it's hitting me the right way, but I don't know. I'm intrigued by it, and that's something that I'm happy to say about a lot of beers because it's just I don't know. It's interesting to have something a little bit different. But now, I think we're all pretty much ready.
Lucas, go ahead.
Yep.
I've got a beer that I cannot really pronounce, but actually it's really simple. Maudite. It's a Canadian beer, and basically
French Canadian.
Because
it's French.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's
name.
Eastern. It's Eastern Canadian, so French Canadian. But I'm really intrigued by this beer. Like when I first tasted it. It seemed like it was going to be a little bit rough, like a little bit skunky, but then it really smooths out and doesn't kick you in the end. Like, but it has a canoe with a bunch of Indians in it flying in the air.
Native Americans.
A bunch of Native Americans. Native Canadians flying in the air in their canoe. And supposedly...
And the devil below.
Yeah, if you read the story on it, it's supposed to be a beer about them making a deal with the devil to make it to some party. Like
that's like a really bad story.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. But
it's really spritey in the sense that it kind of has a like Coca-Cola product Sprite taste to it. Yeah, it's kind of like that really light citrus taste to it.
This one's kind of wild and crazy.
Yeah, like it is not at all what I expected.
The front end is kind of like mild, but then you actually swallow the beer and you're just like, whoa.
It's a party in the back.
Yeah, it's a party in the back of your mouth.
It's the mullet of beers.
It's the mullet of beers.
It's got that business up front, and then it just party right in the back.
And one more thing to actually say about this beer real quick is it is they fermented a second time. There's supposed to be yeast in the bottom of this, so I'm trying not to shake it very much. But yeah, it's...
Can you see it? We're holding it up to the light.
There's a noticeable difference in cloudiness. Oh yeah, hold it like this way up to the light, and you can actually see like throughout the whole bottle, but then it's more concentrated at the bottom. You can see like specks.
I may have to drink all the way down to the bottom of this beer to see if there's a difference in taste, but it's
oh my.
Yeah, it's like there's like sea monkeys in it.
That's crazy.
Hey, I love some sea monkeys.
Those sea monkeys are tasty.
Yeah, there are sea monkeys hanging out in there.
I'm having a hard time with the beers this week. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That's an expensive bottle of sea monkeys you got there.
Oh boy.
All right, it is, but it's just so.
We are pitting this up against last week's beer of the week.
But we need to pit them against each other.
Oh, that's true. Yep. You're right. I'll go first.
Yeah. Same order.
I think it's a toss-up between my beer and Lucas's beer because I'm not a fan of the sour mashy flavor that Ryan's beer brings this week. It's good. I really like it, but I don't like how it finishes. Yeah.
I'm just going to hand him some beer because I like winning, which is bad.
God, that's really good. I think I'm gonna go with the Fat Tire because it is a standby beer for me. It's never done me wrong.
That's solid. Like, I love Fat Tire a lot. Like, I could drink Fat Tire anytime.
Yeah,
literally any time.
I'm voting for Fat Tire, just because it is my standby beer. So Ryan, you're on the vote.
I have a tough time voting for Fat Tire just because I've had it a lot before, and like I said, it's like kind of that anytime beer that I can drink. But in terms of like something that's like unique that will blow me away, I'm sipping Lucas's beer one more time right now.
I'm just gonna say I'm having a really tough time.
I'm having a really tough time too.
Same here.
You're not. You already picked your beer.
Well, I did have a tough time.
Oh, you did have a tough time. Your tough time is over. So
third world problems.
Third world problems.
Third world. What?
What beer am I gonna drink?
We are definitely first world, but
No.
anyway.
It was a third world problem.
18th world problems. I'm gonna vote for my own. I'm gonna vote for the high-end.
God dang it.
Hey, Lucas, next week you're voting first regardless, because you're always last.
I don't like being last.
You're always last. So
I really don't.
It's up to
approve
you.
of
So we
this.
have one vote for the fat tire and one vote for the Weihenstephan.
And I could really screw things up and root for my own and vote for my own beer right now. Like, what would we do?
I don't know.
Would we have to like go down the street and like be like, "Hey, 12-year-old, try my beer"?
No,
We do
I
not
do not
encourage
condone
underage drinking.
unless you're 18.
God, hand me my beer.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm torn in between my beer and Ryan's beer. I don't know why I like Ryan's beer so much because, like Nick said, it has like a kind of strange flavor, and I like Nick's beer, but for some reason I've been on this little bit of a heavier beer kick.
No, Lucas just doesn't like to vote for my beer
Yeah.
because he never has.
Yes, I have. I didn't.
No,
Oh.
you've never voted for
Now
my beer.
you're making me feel bad.
Guilt trip.
Uh-oh.
Is he gonna vote for his own beer?
Hand me your beer.
Oh my God,
I
Lucas,
cannot
you're
make-
voting first next week. You're voting first in all subsequent or all upcoming weeks.
This always happens.
Oh boy.
Okay. I'm gonna vote for the Fat Tire.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that.
It's a solid beer.
I think it helps a lot that I've never had it before too. Like,
Yeah, I think that definitely does.
because I really like my beer. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to even think about having a tie.
I'm
but
afraid that your beer is gonna get real
Old.
funky at the
Yeah.
bottom. No, I think it's just gonna get funky when you get low.
yeah, but
Get low.
Sea monkeys in your mouth.
Yeah, just tons of sea monkeys doing it in your mouth.
I'm just waiting until someone makes the mistake and just says tons of semen in your mouth.
Well, you just did.
Anyway, no, but
I
I'm
respect that.
I'm voting for the Fat Tire because it's a lot lighter beer than the other two, and it's really I don't know, it seems easier to drink than the other two, but I don't know. It's the funkiness of Ryan's beer is a little bit too much for me at times. Okay, now I can't stop.
I'll agree. Like, cause like
I don't know. It's strange.
if you've never had the Fat Tire before, it's almost kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like,
Like
exactly.
it's a like because I've never had it before. I think that made a huge difference in it, and I think I've actually had the
You have.
Weihenstephaner.
Yeah, you have.
But this week we had 3 quality beers. I'm just gonna say that right now.
They were all good.
Like,
I thoroughly enjoyed all of the other ones.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
so yeah, I guess the Fat Tire's gonna win this week, and since it doesn't have Lion Stout to go up against,
But we do have the candy of
we
beer.
do.
Oh boy.
So, since the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter was last week's beer of the week, and the Lion Stout was retired into the Hall of Fame, we have to pit up the Fat Tire against the Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. We're gonna do this quick because we do have to live stream here. So, we're just gonna, like I said, quick. I'm gonna drink this quick, and we're gonna go.
Hand me it after you.
Split second decisions here.
Yes, I'm voting for the Leinenkugel Snowdrift Vanilla Porter.
Holy God, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't vote against that.
Oh man, it's done. I'm voting.
We're
for it,
done.
too.
We're done. We're jumping in.
Oh.
Snowdrift Vanilla Porter, 2 weeks, well, 1 week technically in a row
Wow.
of beer of the week, and we're gonna hit the closing here. So you can find me on Twitter at Nick_Smock.
You can find me on Twitter at Ryan Spletzer.
And me At Depressed Was Cool.
And you can find TechBuzzed at a various number of places. If you'd like to listen to our audio podcast or download our MP3s,
please email us.
We'll get to that. You can find us at techbuzzed.libsyn.com. You can find us on Twitter at TechBuzzed. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechBuzzed. Email us, please. We want your questions or comments or just talk to us at techbuzzedpodcast@gmail.com.
We're a lonely podcast.
And if you really feel inclined, watch our videos, which you're going to live stream in about 5 minutes here, even though you won't obviously get this message.
They
right
will
away.
actually see the after hours before this podcast.
So, youtube.com/TechBuzzPodcast, we're going to start live streaming the after hours. So every week on Friday, we're going to tweet out and Facebook and social network the hell out of the TechBuzzed live stream after hours. So we're going to get into that right now. We're going to give you guys a little bit of music and check us out. So
Peace.
See you guys later.
Peace.
Deuces. It's weird. I just want to get away from a paper money
But
system.
then
I hate paper
how does
money.
somebody give you change though?
What do you mean?
Like if you give somebody a $5 coin, what do they give you back? Like so you
Dollar
say,
coins.
But you're saying you hate dollar coins.
No. The reason I hate them is because we still have a paper-based monetary system.
Yeah.
If we got rid of paper money completely, except for like 20s, 50s, and 100s,
Yeah.
and we made $1, $5, and $10 coins, and then got rid of those bills, it would make more sense.
If we got rid of like the lower denominator bills
And then
and
switched
replaced
with
them
coins.
with coins.
It would make more sense to me.
Why?
I don't like paper money.
I don't either. I try to use my credit card wherever I go.
It's easy to counterfeit.
See, I'm even more extreme than that. I'm like, all money altogether. I'm just gonna use my credit card, and I have a balance. But
But
at
like
the same
that too.
time, like if someone gets
then Dvorak is on the way other end of that, and loves
Yeah,
just
and
having
he's like
cash
he
money.
only
in his
has
hand.
cash
I
money.
love John C. Dvorak.
He's awesome.
I honestly, that is actually right now probably my favorite podcast, just because like they consistently just have like 3 hours I can just drone out to.
Yeah,
Right.
like most monetary systems in Europe, I really like because it's like lower
yeah.
denominations are coin based.
Right.
And like Canada has the coolest fucking monetary system right now because their 20s, 15s, and 100s they're like getting rid of the paper and they have these like plastic bills. They're fucking awesome.
Are they bendable still?
Yeah, they're so cool.
That is pretty cool.
They're like completely counterfeit proof.
That's pretty awesome.
And they're like plastic. They're so sweet. And I wish we had that. Because at the same time, they're like impossible to like fold and keep creases in, so they always stay crisp.
Yeah.
Because it's like this rubbery like plastic. Oh, it's so cool. I love them.
I'm just trying to
And they're like-
imagine.
And they're like
wait. I'm just trying to imagine you're at the strip club.
like slapping bitches with your bills. Like yeah. But and it's so cool because they're like hologram Pokemon cards, but with like Tony Blair's face.
God damn it.
Oh, please tell me you're recording this right now. So you have these rubber bills and you're at the strip club and Tony Blair's face is just his smiling face is on there and you just slap a stripper's ass with a he's got to be like the $5 bill. Tony Blair.
Yeah, I
mean,
Tony Blair's.
He's not like the $1. Like the $1 isn't worthy of Tony Blair.
What's
but
the queen on? The queen is on the 10 or something.
she's on like the 100.
The 100
million.
bill.
She's on 100 mil.
the
bill.
100 mil bill.
But you just like
bitches with
you're
Queen Victoria's.
you're just slapping a hooker or a stripper in the ass with a Tony Blair, and it just like leaves the print of Tony Blair's like smiling face on her ass,
Has to be engraved.
and you're just like, you got Blaired.
Oh, that's. I bet he says that to people.
Oh, he does it. He's like he's banging it out with a hooker, and he's just like slaps her in the ass with his own bill with his face on it. Like they don't even care that it's only $5, and they were just like doing some like crazy BDSM or BSDM stuff, and she wasn't like.
You know what Bondism is, dude?
Yeah,
BDSM.
That's what I said. BDSM and BSDM.
BSDM.
I said but. They're like doing some crazy stuff, and she really isn't up on it, but he's Tony Blair, and then he's just like, here you go, and he just like slaps her with it, and like it just leaves the imprint of his face, and she doesn't care because he's Tony Blair.
And he says,
and that's exactly what he says.
No, but then he says,
you just got Blaired. And that's his slogan is, bitches don't care because I'm Tony Blair.
All right. Oh my gosh.